Hello, my name is Shalise Queen, and I'm a Filipino-American student here at UW. Those two identities have a lot more in common than you may think, because both countries, the Philippines and the United States, share a historical experience, and that experience would be colonization. But first, I'm going to run through you what colonization is, some examples of it, along with the effects of colonization on both of the countries. The Oxford definition of colonization is the action or the process of settling and establishing control over the indigenous people of an area. The Philippines, for example, was colonized in the 1500s by Spain. They gained their independence on July 4th, 1946. But for the United States, they were colonized primarily in the 1600s, but instead by Europe. They were lucky to gain their independence a lot earlier, which was on the same day, July 4th, but in the year 1776. Although colonization can have many examples, a common theme that I did notice throughout history was cultural erasure. And cultural erasure is a form of systemic oppression. It's a destruction of a culture's identity, tradition, and history, and very commonly their language. And that can look like the oppressor banning the participation of that group's religion, or the oppressors enforcing their religion onto that indigenous group. Those two religions that were commonly being enforced back then was Christianity or Catholicism. And another would be not allowing traditions to continue, such as clothing, or not letting them practice rituals that they usually would. And the most common form of cultural erasure would be the loss of indigenous language. For example, the Native Americans were often enforced to learn and speak English, and if they didn't do either of those things, they were often reprimanded. This ties into the effects of colonization because the major effect on the Philippines was the loss of our indigenous language. The main dialect that we speak in the Philippines is Tagalog. So many of our words were influenced by Spain, and that caused some of them to sound or mean the same thing. For example, the word bathroom. Both in Spanish and Tagalog, it's baño, and it's also spelled the same way, which is B-A-N-Y-O. And as for the Philippines, although colonization has come to an end, Native Americans don't have full or complete ownership to their land. Many tribes have reservations, which is a land held and governed by recognized tribes, where the beneficial interests and the use of the lands fall under the Native Americans. But not all of them own their land entirely, or not all tribes own that land, unless, of course, it's been passed down by generations. All of these points are important to consider because technically both lands are very much free, but colonization has long-lasting effects. It's embedded deep into our system, so it's important to decolonize not just the countries that were affected, but also our minds. We must continue to learn the real history of those who were oppressed because it's the right and true thing to do.